right. Saving precious time here. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you for joining us. It is the StewKast Wrestling Podcast. I am Lou Marconi at LMarconi251, along with my co-host, Corey Castle, at Corey Castle everywhere. LMarconi251 is on Instagram, at L Marconi 1973 is my Twitter X handle. Sorry, geez, what's wrong with me today? All messed up. Been running around like a chick with my head cut off on these Wednesdays, I tell you. So it is 12:35. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 10 of the StewKast. Hey, before we get any further, check out the sponsor of the show and the details of the show. The link, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Click on it. Order up some coffee. It's really good stuff. It's a local company out of Columbus, Ohio. It's American. Check it out. It's really good. And
ask you how you heard of them.
Yep.
Yeah, tell them Stu sent you.
Tell them Stu sent you. The StewKast sent you. And we are part of the Combat Zone Network, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Thank you all. We do appreciate it. So today we got two parts of this. We're going to talk about the Mr. McMahon series, parts 5 and 6, and then we're going to talk about Bad Blood and what we thought. Now, Rod, you said it's gone 2 hours now, which I think would probably be a better show in my opinion. So when you don't have it stretch out too long, you can only keep your audience for so long. So I think that's why they did it. But when does Raw go to Netflix?
In January.
Yeah, January. Okay, and isn't Netflix doing a Saturday Night's Main Event with Jesse Ventura in December?
That's in NBC in December.
It's NBC? Is it on Peacock? That'll probably be on Peacock. Peacock.
Yeah, it's prime time. Like that's the point of Saturday Night's Main Event. It's supposed to go on prime time. NBC. It'll be on network TV. That's December 14th, I believe.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's dive into it. Episodes 5 and 6, Vince McMahon, and I believe this is when kind of like he ended up ruling the wrestling world when he bought WCW and Shane showed up on Nitro. I remember that night.
Yeah, the whole thing behind that episode was just family business, right? Was that what 5 was?
Yeah.
It was all about the relationship between him and Shane, really.
Well, Shane thought he was the heir apparent, and it didn't work out that way. No, and it was probably similar to the relationship he had with his dad. If you notice that when they talked about that in the beginning, like meaning Vince McMahon Jr. versus Senior, this is Shane versus his dad. So it's kind of interesting how that dynamic kind of changed a little bit. And
dude,
also, go ahead.
What did you think of the part, like when they showed the part of like Shane's comeback and how big of a spot that was and how big of a reaction that was? He had been gone from WWE TV for 6+ years, and he had that comeback, and the crowd welcomed him back, and he had tears in his eyes, and he was like really emotionally kind of high at that moment. And then Vince was going back and forth with him in the promo, and I guess maybe forgot what his line was, and he was like, "I'll give you a effing beating, or I'll give you a effing slapping, or whatever." Like he like broke for a second.
Spanking.
Yeah, he went fucking. He gave a real like quick like. He talked to him like a dad talks to a son. In that.
Well, I did know I do have a Shane McMahon story where I'm walking backstage and he's sitting on a folding chair. Did I tell this story on this show?
He's
sitting on a folding chair. This is 98, 99, like back when Bluetooth technology was brand new. He's holding his phone in his hand.
Yeah,
he's looking forward and he's talking. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's up? And I stopped and I turned. I thought he was talking to me. I was like, what? You talking to me? Like, it's just like, oh. And then I just looked and he's like, I saw something in his ear and I'm like, oh, sorry. I just kind of walked away. He came up to me later. He's like, hey, sorry about that. I said, hey, I had no idea you're on your phone. I'm sorry too. He's like, no big deal. And he walked away. That was it. I was just like, what the hell is he talking to me for? And it was just like, who am I? But another thing too, did you believe that story that Heyman told about
with the dagger.
The dagger stabbed me. All right, I'm going to make a disclaimer here, and I like Paul. I worked for him. I never have any problems with him. But with that being said, don't ever trust a word that comes out of that man's mouth.
I feel like it was a bit embellished. I don't think.
You think?
It's a tad. It felt a little too poetic. Like it felt like very Shakespearean sort of.
Yeah.
Be prepared to take me out the way I was prepared to take my father out.
He didn't kill his dad. I mean, Vince didn't kill his dad. He did not. He's done a lot of things, but he hasn't done that. Magnum TA made a great comment saying, "There's guys I know that would make Vince McMahon look like a Boy Scout." That's what he said. Yeah, and that's true.
The business was and always will be filled with creeps, weirdos, and
scumbags,
undercover scumbags.
Scumbags, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're the exception. We're not the rule. No, but I'll tell you what. Back in my day, I've told stories, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not hiding from it. But people would consider me of ill repute back then because I was pretty much. I did what any young man would do in that position when he had it presented to him. I took it. I took advantage. And now, keep in mind, I never made anybody do anything they didn't want to do. But hey, looking back, I wish I didn't do it. I mean, I'm a lot happier now in a marriage. But hey, back then I was in my 20s. I thought I was happy, but I wasn't. So that's a whole different story in itself.
Right. I mean,
don't mean to digress.
You got to go through everything you go through to appreciate where you are.
We were talking about that before this.
Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to regrets of like when I was younger and decisions that I would have made, or it's that sliding doors thing. If I would have been nicer to this promoter who everyone else was being nice to, just because he was giving opportunities out, maybe I would have got more opportunities. But you know what? I'm happier with who I am.
Yeah,
I can sleep at night better knowing that I didn't kiss up to somebody who didn't deserve my respect.
I'll tell you what. Do you ever hear it's like that song? I don't know who sings it. I wish that I knew what I know, that I know now what I knew then when I was younger. Yeah, that's nothing could be truer than that. Yeah. And I think a lot of things, just Vince as the human being, okay, looking back, I think he would have done things different with his son. I'm sure. There's things that we can go back and we wish we could do differently all the time. There's lots of things I do. Yeah. Oh, nobody could sit here and say, yeah, but it's done. You can't go back and change it.
A thing that I very frequently say, and I say it on my podcast, Evolving, the amount of right nows that we waste on right nows that have already happened and we can't get back is insane.
Yeah.
So live right now. Think about what right now is, because that's all you can control. All you can control, and you have any control over, is how you feel right now and what you're going to do now.
Yep. And right now we're talking about the McMahon doc, and episode 6 was pretty much how it kind of wrapped up and where they're at now. And as a company, they are so profitable with the sponsorship deals, the streaming deals, and everything. They were ahead of the game when it came to the streaming and the internet. When they first did the WWE network. And so it's all at that point, it's all good. It's just like he's retired. He's got his golden parachute. He's done. And let me ask you this. Now that we talked about it, do you see him coming back into the picture at WWE once all this whole thing? No? Be in a wheelchair? Hey, I'm going to do a match.
No. I don't think so, but never say never. What Vince McMahon has taught us all, that you can't ever say never in wrestling.
Yeah. No, I never say never. Do you think, what was this young lady's name that had
Janelle
this
Grant?
issue? Janelle Grant? Yeah. Yeah. Did Do you think this thing's going to come? Anything's going to come out of this? Because
Well,
I
they're
guess
supposed to be doing a federal investigation now, and they said at the very end part of episode 6, it says Janelle Grant's case was paused during the
while the
federal
investigation.
investigation. So there's a whole lot of stuff that could come out of this, and it could lead to nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll totally see. But after all of this press, all of this negativity, I don't know if Endeavor TKO is going to want to have anything to do with throwing the Vincent Kennedy McMahon name onto the product that is the WWE current.
No, I think it's going to be Paul and Stephanie that are going to pretty much.
Right.
Yep. I think so. I think that's the case. I think actually it was so funny because leading that into Bad Blood when Triple H, who wasn't what I said by Paul, is Triple H. He kind of he came out and did that promo in Bad Blood saying 30 years ago I lived right up the road here and I was terrorizing WCW. When he said that, you know who came up with that name? He tells the story.
That was Kowalski.
Yeah, Kowalski said, "You're the terrorizer. You're the terrorizer." Terrorizing, and he didn't like it. He did not like it. Then they did Jean-Paul Levesque, and he did that gimmick, and then he did Hunter Hearst Helmsley at WWF. But yeah, he well, the crown jewel, that belt looks sweet. I gotta admit that. Did you see?
It looks humongous.
Yeah,
it's so big. It's going to take up somebody's entire torso. Like it's humongous belt.
Yeah,
it kind of resembles the AEW World Title, but
yeah, somewhat.
A little tackier. I don't know if on purpose.
Okay. Well, let me ask you.
It looks a little gaudy, like show jewelry, like play, like pretty princess.
Yeah. God, my pretty princess belt. There we go. Good Lord. That's the Divas title. That was the old Divas title. Here, let's take a look at this. The opening match. They opened up, and my wife even said this. It's like, how do you follow that? Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and CM Punk went over. How would you? I mean, why they should have ended the show with that?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why they opened with it.
Who in the world decided to make these booking choices?
I'm like, how could you? Then the next one was, I think, was it Bayley and Nia Jax, which I will say this, that their match here was way better than the one they had at SummerSlam.
Okay.
I didn't know what you thought of it.
I really thought it looked fine in Fast Forward.
Oh my God, that is like the line I've ever heard. Match looked great. Fast Forward. There you go. All right, let's take that moment. We're going to pause for a break right now. That was just a perfect pause moment.
Right.
Good Lord. That is awesome. So okay. But the Drew McIntyre CM Punk, that was just brutal. Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, that's what a Hell in a Cell is supposed to be. They're hitting each other with.
Yeah, and they didn't go. They never went on top of the. They never went on top of the cell. They never did any stupid falls that were unnecessary. Like, it was.
Yeah,
it was exactly what like it had like original. What's funny about this feud with Drew and Punk, it has a lot of Michaels Taker Brett vibes to it, and Michaels and Taker's first Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, that was the same vibe. Like, they didn't have to do a whole lot of crazy stunts or anything,
right?
You know, it was brutal the same way this was kind of brutal.
It's always brutal, man. Those Hell in the Cell matches are brutal. All right. What I'm trying to think. What else was after the Bailey and Nia Jax? Help me here. Help me. Was it? Was it the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley? Was that after that one? You want to talk about that match?
Bear with me a sec.
Mm-hmm. Take your time. Well, not like we got anything. Well, we could talk about.
I'm gonna pull up the card. Is what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're on. We're live right now. So
Yeah.
let's say. Well, let's talk about the Rhea Ripley Liv
So
Morgan.
CM Punk and Drew, and then Nia Jax and Bailey, and then this is the match that I did want to bring up: Damian Priest versus Finn Balor.
Oh yes, yeah, that was good. I can't believe I misremembered that.
So, I mean, while it was good, it was very predictable. Like all the stuff that happened was the stuff you kind of would think would happen. All the run-ins and all this, it's like the same old stuff. Kind of continuing to run its course. It's not bad. It's just very beige curtains.
Yeah, no, the Finn Balor, Damian Priest. I mean, I liked the match, so
Right.
I was.
It was not
okay
a bad match.
No,
and then it was the Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan with Dominic in the shark cage.
It looked like he shit himself up there. Is that why she left that toilet paper in there?
Yeah,
the Dominic Mysterio,
and they're actually selling that. That's merchandise that they have now. They're selling Dominic Mysterio toilet paper.
I'm sure he's getting a cut of it. So, I like the match. I thought, what was the Rodriguez?
Raquel Gonzalez.
Was it Raquel Gonzalez? Jeez.
Well, she used to be called Raquel Rodriguez in NXT, but now she's called Raquel Gonzalez. Or am I doing it backwards? I know her last name changed when she moved from NXT to WWE, and it was either Gonzalez to Rodriguez or Rodriguez to Gonzalez. It was one.
Now help me out with this. Wasn't that top she was wearing like awful? Like what?
It was weird. It was weird and awful for sure.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what my wife said when she saw it. Was like it makes her look, it makes her chest look flatter. Is what my wife said, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And she
looked like she was like in a hot dog casing. Like she looked like she was just cased together like a sausage link or a hot dog or something.
Right.
It was weird. Like she's in good shape, but that didn't flatter her in any way.
Yeah, that's the best way. It's unflattering. It was a very unflattering, very, very unflattering outfit. So that, and then plus she what she should have done was she put Liv on top of her. It meant nothing.
They confirmed that she botched whatever the finish was. Because if you looked at it, when she came and did the run in, the ref went running to the ring, and you saw him like she wasn't supposed to do and it wasn't it wasn't like the way a ref oversells something. It was like he was like shoot, not sure what was going on.
And what she could have done to cover that up was after she put Liv on top of her, go down herself and count to 3 and get heat.
Right.
Get heat. That would have done it, but she didn't do that. So then I think the last one was the tag match, wasn't it? Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline.
Yeah, versus the Bloodline. Now they were. I knew once I heard Michael Cole say this. Was it Michael Cole or Corey Graves? They were talking about in 1980 at the Omni in Atlanta when Ole Anderson turned on Dusty Rhodes against the Assassins. I said, well, all right, it's not going to happen in this match now because they just brought it up. That's when I knew. Once they said that, I knew it wasn't going to happen. Because it would have been very easy for Roman Reigns to turn on him and get all this heat for doing it, but he didn't do it.
But I mean, I'm gonna go with something, and I'll give credit to Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette called this when he said, "Why would they do that to forego the probably millions of dollars they'll make off of babyface merch
from Roman Reigns?"
From Roman Reigns, yeah. Like they're not going to forego all that money that they'll make off of merch from babyface Roman Reigns, and he has such a limited schedule already. He has such a small time left on his career already. Like, just let him make that t-shirt money.
Absolutely. No, that's fine. That makes sense. That makes absolute sense. And I would say this, I would say, like, if it didn't happen in the first 2 minutes of the match, it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Like when they turn on him, because it doesn't make sense. It's happened before in matches, and riots would start because when Dusty got turned on by Ole, a damn riot in the Omni happened. And there was a clip where Johnny Powers at the Cleveland Arena in 1974 did that to Ernie Ladd. I mean, seriously, did it to Ernie Ladd, and it was like a riot happened, and Johnny Powers like ran to the locker room. And they always tell you, don't run because they'll chase you. Don't run because they'll chase you. But he ran. He just got the hell out of Dodge for that one. Now that I'm going way back. I just went back like 50 years. But what do you think it means with The Rock at the end of it?
Well, we failed to mention Jimmy Uso coming back. And the reveal on that.
My fault. I failed to mention. You just did.
Right. Okay, sure. But sure. Be yourself up. Be yourself up. I won't do it.
I'll do it all day. Can't beat yourself. Who can you beat?
Who do you ever beat? Himself?
Yeah. Himself? Yes. Go ahead. Talk about Jimmy Uso. That was pretty cool how this guy in a hoodie just showed up.
Yeah, the way they did it was like we weren't sure if he was gonna, like, what this kind of like he had a bandit bandana sort of situation and a hoodie on, so we didn't know who that was, and he was kind of lost in the shuffle of the Loas. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
The Tonga Loa, Tonga, guys.
They're all
too much Tonga. It's
a
Tonga tire. You get all Tonga tied.
It's a Tonga tied. Okay. Well, that was a cool spot in the match. That was great. And he also was the one that talked in Roman Reigns to go back and help him.
And it was a pop, dude. It was all pop. That was babyface 101.
That officially turned Roman Reigns babyface, because I think people were kind of not willing to buy into it yet, and I think now that it happened. And then you heard The Rock's music. He came out. He was holding that Brahma Bull belt over his shoulder, and he came out and did a couple hand gestures, and it's like, ooh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of did that. So it's interesting to see. Obviously, Dwayne's back. So.
Well, was that more? Do you think that was supposed to be at all three of those guys, right? At Jimmy, Roman, and Cody. But I thought when I first did it originally, and I said to Alyssa, night 1 of WrestleMania, he beat Cody 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and that was what he said in his promo to Cody before he took his time off. He brought that up. He brought that win up. So I figured that was why he did the 1, 2, 3 thing. I didn't think there was any other significance to it.
No, you're probably right. There's one other thing too. Like before the matches, Roman Reigns came out to an orchestra, and Cody Rhodes came out to a marching band. So my wife said, "Wouldn't it be awesome if one of the people from the marching band got in the ring and just hit somebody with a horn?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, the reason why she said that was when she was in high school, she was in marching band. She played the clarinet. So come in there with a clarinet and knock somebody over the head. But I overall, I thought Bad Blood was a great show. I would have put I would have put Bailey and Nia on first and put the Hell in the Cell last. That's what I would have done.
So do you think that Jay and Sammy join in with Jimmy and Roman and reunite the original bloodline?
Who's to say at this time? I'm not a booker. I don't know.
I definitely think that that's where it's headed. If I was to just guess, if I was to call it, and I usually am very good at calling things when it comes to the booking, I would say it seems the likeliest of situations.
It's very possible.
It's going to be Jay Uso joins back up with the original bloodline, and so does Sami Zayn. And they did that angle after Bad Blood that only got released on social medias, where Kevin Owens turned on Cody Rhodes in the parking lot. So I have yet to watch Monday Night Raw from this week, so maybe they followed up some more on there. I didn't see if they did or not, but I'm gonna watch that today.
All right, cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for this. We'll talk more Raw and SmackDown and anything else going on in WWE and anything else going on in pro wrestling next week. This is the StewKast, the wrestling podcast on the Combat Zone Network, a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Thank you all for joining us. Hey, check out. I'm speaking in hyperbole. So please check out Hemisphere Coffee Roaster, sponsor the show. Detailed link is in the details of the show. We appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you very much. We will see you all next week at 12:35.
If you're hanging with us, on the show here today, leave us a comment. Make sure you say what's up. Let us know you exist. Leave a comment on Spotify if you're downloading it on Spotify, hearing the audio only. If you're hearing the audio only, give us a little whoop whoop in the comments.
Whoop 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 whoop. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Take care. No,